from Decodable Readers Australia. I'm excited because we've got a mini-series called Celebrating Science of Reading Influencers. There are so many amazing people doing work here in Australia and globally to spread the word of the science of teaching reading. And these people are really bridging that gap for our educators, from that research to quality instruction and practice in our classrooms. So we've decided to celebrate them and connect our community with them, because who wouldn't want to be on this journey with them? So sit back and enjoy. Each week we've got a different influencer that we're going to showcase and connect you with. Today we celebrate Stephanie Stollar from Reading Science Academy. I just want to thank you, Stephanie, for joining us. Stephanie's from the Reading Science Academy and is a global influencer. Even here in Australia, she's making waves, and we need to celebrate these people for the impact that they're having on our educators, making that bridge from research to the classroom and making it practical. And Stephanie's one of those for me. So welcome, Stephanie.
Thank you, Camilla. That's such an honor to have you say that. I appreciate that very much.
Now, can you tell me a little bit about your journey and the people that have influenced you?
So I started my career as a school psychologist, and I have to say that much of what we talk about today as the science of reading, I learned as a graduate student. So I have to say that my first main influences were my professors in graduate school, who taught me about a structured problem-solving process. They taught me the power of prevention. They taught me about direct instruction. They taught me about assessment. And those are topics that I still learn about and talk about today. When I worked as a school psychologist, I was in pre-K and then also a K-8 building. And I had two very different experiences that shaped what I'm still working on and talking about today. So in the pre-K environment, I had the opportunity to see prevention and early intervention and how students could the course of their lives could be altered and changed. And in the elementary setting, I really saw a lot of waiting to fail. So students had to be behind enough until they got help. And it was very, very frustrating. And it was during that time when I was working in schools that I met Roland Good, who is the author of the Dibbles Assessment, which is now called Acadience Reading. And he was working on a way to not just measure student reading performance, but to predict reading performance and to be able to find students before they had a reading problem and influence that trajectory. And the stars aligned for me, and that was really what set me on this course. I ended up working in a regional resource center where we implemented a 3-tiered model, what people talk about today as MTSS, focused on prevention of reading failure. And then I went to work directly for Roland Good and Ruth Kaminsky for the Acadience Learning Company for about 12 years, and resigned just a year ago today, as a matter of fact. It's interesting timing. To focus on prevention in 2 ways now. So I'm still focused on helping teachers understand what we know in the reading research about how to set children on the right course to become readers and prevent them from struggling to read. So that early intervention and prevention is still my goal, and helping teachers to understand that research. But I'm also now focused on prevention in the area of teacher training, pre-service teacher training, graduate teacher training, so that when teachers are working in schools, we don't have to do this retooling anymore. And teachers don't have to have this conflict of, well, I was taught one way in my college courses, but now I'm learning about something different and I'm conflicted and I have to unlearn and relearn. So I've really been drawn to support teachers in both of those ways, I would say. And it's all focused around prevention for me. That's the driver.
And that's how I came across you, through the Stephanie Stollar Consulting. And you've got your Reading Science Academy, which little master classes, and I call them the pots of gold, because we have many teachers contact us going, well, I've learnt this way, like you said, at teacher training, universities and colleges. And now, when I'm in my practice, I'm now hearing that maybe this is the right direction to go, but how do I find out more? And so we really need to connect our community with people making this available. And I know that you're located in America, but we know that students are wired the same no matter where they are
That's
globally.
right.
And so the information, the methodologies, the practice is the same, because it's all aligned to this body of research. So what I was interested in is how we can connect our community to yours, so that they can get the value that I see as well. Obviously the Facebook page, but can you let us know a little bit about how we can connect our communities?
Yes. So my Facebook page is Stephanie Stollar Consulting, and I do post videos there at least once a week. And my goal there, and also on my YouTube channel, which is Reading Science Academy, um, I try to post videos that will simplify some of the complexity in the reading research and help teachers to just get access to what might help them to be more effective with their students. So some people might say it's oversimplification, but I try to just make things very practical and
Mhm.
digestible for teachers, so that they can take a next step forward. The Reading Science Academy is an online membership community. So it's a place for teachers to learn uh, in a way that is vetted for them, and a way that is responsive to their needs. So it's very easy to get overwhelmed, I think,
Mhm.
online in particular. There's so much information, and nowadays everything has the science of reading, as a label on it. And it's hard to be an informed consumer, I think. So one of my goals in the Reading Science Academy is to glean those really trusted sources, and to digest the information and bring it to teachers in manageable chunks. So it's not an online course where teachers have to go from point A to point Z. It is um, responsive. So the members tell me what they're interested in learning about. And each week there's new content that they can access. So it might be a live Q&A where we connect like this and teachers bring their concerns and questions. It might be a webinar that I'm doing on a topic that they're interested in. So kind of a little mini um, 1 hour course. I have guest speakers who come and do those same kinds of 1 hour presentations. And I create implementation tools that help them. Um, so print documents that help them go out into the classroom or into their schools and implement the things that they've been learning about. And they can consume all of that content in a month or none of it. It's very flexible, a monthly subscription. And what's been really nice over the last year is we've created a community where people feel safe to ask their questions. They're safe to reveal what they don't know. I model that for people all the time. I'm always learning. Um, and they know that they're not going to get criticism.
Mhm.
Sometimes in social media, if you make a comment, there's going to be people that jump on you and tell you how wrong you are. And we don't do that in the Reading Science Academy. It's
Mhm.
a place for people to learn and to get support to implement in kind of a safe environment.
Yeah, and I love that. And we can really get that sense when we watch some of your videos, and we like the simplicity of them, because, oh, I mean, teachers don't even have time for a cup of tea or, or a
That's
break.
right.
So we need short, sharp, simple, and practical strategies. And that's what I see you offering. And your course, very simple to follow, a platform that's really user friendly as well. So
Good.
we'll definitely put those details up on our posts so that our community can connect with you. I have one last question. It may be a bit of a tough one, but has there been any frustrations on your journey, whether it's from teachers, parents, even institutions? What has been, I guess, some blockers for you? Because I know that we often have a lot of positives about what's happening, but there are a lot of negatives or frustrations or block points in our journeys. What has that been for you?
Well, I think the teacher training institutions is my biggest frustration. That's really what I felt like over the last 20 plus years of supporting teachers who are on the job and learning and having to retrain them. Um, for their frustration when they expressed to me, why didn't somebody tell me this when I was in college? Why didn't I have this information? And they're upset about that. So that I think is the barrier. I see a lot of movement with parent advocacy around the science of reading. I see a lot of movement even among district administrators, even among in the US state departments of education, and teachers have been unbelievable in taking on this learning. Like you said, they don't have time to be doing it, and yet they are on their own initiative. So I don't see barriers in any of those other domains. I just think it's in higher ed. Um, and in the last year, as I've kind of been investigating this, I have found there are quite a few professors who have wanted to move in this direction, but don't have support within their institution. And so I'm trying to create a community where those folks also can learn and move forward. Because I think that's really our next frontier is to make change in the way that teachers are trained, pre-service training and in their graduate training as well. So that's, I guess, out of that frustration has come my current work. So I
Yeah,
hope to be
absolutely. And
helpful.
that's worth celebrating. We have influencers like you starting to make waves globally in our teacher training colleges at our universities. I know here in Australia, there's a few universities coming on board now because wonderful influencers like yourself are making those waves and doing the necessary yards. So we know we're heading in the right direction. What I did love that you said is that it's a journey. And
Yes,
we keep reiterating that we don't need to know all the pieces straight away, that we can
that's
just
right.
take off little pieces, get an understanding of that, change practice in our classrooms, and the reward is seeing the students learn. So little
That's what it's
steps
all about.
and jumping on the journey with the right influencers, sharing the right information, because like you said, it can be a rabbit warren, and unfortunately sometimes you can go down the wrong hole. It says evidence-based, but when you really pull it apart and unpack it, it's not quite hitting the mark. So I just want to thank you so much for your time. You've been an influencer in my world, and we hope to connect our community with yours as well. And just keep up the good work. You're making waves, and we'll just keep following your journey.
Thanks so much. Thank you for the encouragement. I appreciate it very much.